opening. I felt it before I understood it. It started a few nights ago. I couldn't sleep. Not in the usual restless way, but in that strange, electric kind of way. Like something was about to happen. My dreams became more vivid, almost cinematic. I'd wake up at 3:11 a.m., 4:04 a.m., to just once, but night after night like clockwork. The air felt heavier. Time didn't feel linear. Hours would slip by, yet minutes dragged. And even though I couldn't quite name it, I felt like something was pressing in. As if the universe was standing right behind me, whispering through my spine. At first, I chalked it up to stress, maybe too much coffee, maybe the moon, but then I paused. What if this isn't just a full moon? What if what I'm feeling isn't random, but a signal? I started paying closer attention, not just to the sky, but to the way my body reacted, the subtle ache in my chest, the way music suddenly moved me to tears, the strange pull to be alone, to unplug, to just feel. It wasn't dramatic, it was quiet, a slow unraveling. And somewhere in that stillness I realized, this wasn't just in my head, something was shifting. Maybe you've been feeling it too. The tension, the unease, the weird timing of everything. It's like something slipped through, something invisible but undeniable, and now we're all standing in it. We just didn't get the memo, so I'm here to share what I've learned. Not as an expert, not as a guide, but as someone who felt it first, before I even understood what it was. The double portal. Something is coming through. There are moments when energy doesn't just shift, it collides. This is one of those moments. We're not just under a full moon. We're inside something much bigger. A double portal. Sounds dramatic? It is. But it's real. This week, something rare happened. The pink full moon rose at the exact same time Venus Retrograde ended. Two cosmic forces, one above, one below, cracked open at once. The full moon, often seen as a moment of completion or clarity, is already potent on its own. But when Venus, the planet of love, value, and desire, stops moving backward and shifts direct on the very same night, that's not just a coincidence, that's a collision course of energy. Imagine two major highways slamming into each other at full speed. One brings soft chaos and rebirth, the moon. The other pulls up your deepest beliefs about love and worth, Venus. When they crash, it creates an opening. That's the double portal. And something is coming through. Not just energy, but a version of you that's been waiting. It's not metaphor. It's not fantasy, it's real, and you can feel it in your bones. People are more emotional, more reactive, more drawn to the past or to strange feelings they can't explain. Why? Because the portal doesn't just open outward, it opens inward. It pulls things up from your subconscious. It forces truths to surface. It asks questions like, do you really love yourself? Do you really believe you're worthy? Are you living what you say you believe? If the answer is no, this portal will show you. If the answer is yes, it will test you. But either way, it doesn't leave you unchanged. You can't bypass this one. You can't love and light your way around it. The energy is loud and it's not asking for your permission. This is a cosmic checkpoint, a mirror, a pressure point. And if you've been waiting for a sign to wake up, this is it. Venus retrograde ends, and everything shifts. Let's talk about Venus. Not just the planet, but what she represents. Love, value, beauty, feminine power. Venus isn't loud like Mars or mysterious like Pluto. She's subtle. She moves like a whisper, soft but deliberate. And when she goes retrograde, she turns everything inward. For the past several weeks, Venus has been in reverse. And maybe you felt it. That pause in your love life, that strange fog around your self-worth. The questions you started asking in the middle of the night. Why do I keep choosing people who don't choose me? Why do I shrink myself to feel loved? Do I even know what I'm worth? That's Venus retrograde. She slows you down, not to punish you, but to reveal you, to help you see the stories you're still carrying about love, money, beauty, power, and belonging. And now, she's moving forward again, but here's what most people don't realize. She remembers everything. Venus isn't coming back like nothing happened. She's coming back with receipts. If you've been lying to yourself, settling for less, chasing validation, ignoring your intuition, this shift may feel like a slap. Sudden, sharp, uncomfortable. You might notice people pulling away. You might feel exposed. The energy just doesn't let you fake it anymore. But onward if you've been doing the work, if you've been quiet, honest, patient, if you've been choosing truth over drama, integrity over image, this shift feels different. Like a door finally unlocking, like clarity after a long night, like being seen fully deeply, maybe for the first time. Venus isn't here to judge you. She's here to mirror you, what you feel right now. That aching, that desire, that pulse in your chest isn't random. It's a signal. You're not crazy. You're remembering, and so is she. The pink moon. Not as gentle as it sounds, they call it the pink moon. Sounds sweet, right? Like a soft blush in the sky, like something poetic, harmless. But don't let the name fool you. This moon doesn't come to comfort. It comes to confront. The pink moon is what I call a mirror moon, because it doesn't just light the sky, it lights up everything you've been trying to hide. The parts of you thought you buried, the emotions you told yourself you were over, the relationships you kept alive out of habit, not heart. This moon pulls them out of hiding. And here's the thing, it does it gently, almost seductively. So gently, in fact, that most people don't even realize they're being tested. You might find yourself suddenly drawn to someone from your past. You might mistake a craving for a connection, or assume urgency equals intuition. It's not always easy to tell, because the pink moon doesn't yell and it whispers. And if you're not listening carefully, you'll confuse a trigger for a truth. That's why this moon is dangerous in the most beautiful way. It wraps illusion in beauty. It makes you chase what feels familiar, not what's right. But if you slow down, if you get still, you'll see it. You'll see what's real and what's recycled. You'll know the difference between what's calling you and what's just echoing old wounds. This moon isn't soft, it's sacred, and its light, it doesn't just shine, it exposes. Solar flares, why you feel overwhelmed. If you've been feeling tired lately, like bone-deep tired, you're not alone. And no, it's probably not just your sleep schedule or stress. It might be the sun right now. A massive cluster of sunspots is facing Earth. Sunspots are unstable regions on the surface of the sun, and when they get active enough, they release solar flares, huge bursts of energy that shoot out into space. When one of these flares hits Earth's magnetic field, it can scramble satellite signals, disrupt power grids, and more interestingly, it can mess with you, because we're not separate from the Earth. We're tuned into the same field. Your body, especially your nervous system, is wired like a receiver. So when the sun pulses, you feel it. You might feel anxious, out of nowhere. Wired but exhausted, dizzy, emotionally raw. You might wake up at strange hours, have intense dreams, or just feel like your thoughts are moving in fast forward. That's solar energy in your system. And if you're energetically sensitive, an empath, an intuitive, a seeker, you're probably picking up more than most. Think of it like this. The sun is the transmitter. Earth is the receiver. You're the antenna, and lately, that antenna has been buzzing. What makes this wave of flares even more powerful is that it's syncing perfectly with the full moon. Two energetic events, solar and lunar, colliding in real time. That's why everything feels dialed up right now, more intense, more alive, more loud. This isn't just emotional, it's electromagnetic. It's physical, spiritual, and energetic all at once. So if you've been feeling off, don't ignore it. Your body isn't broken. It's just picking up the signal. The sun speaks in pulses, and right now it's got something to say. Who is being activated? Libra and Taurus signs. Not everyone feels the moon the same way. Some signs get hit harder, not because they're weaker, but because they're standing at the epicenter. This time, it's Libra and Taurus. If you have major placements in either sign, sun, moon, or rising, you're probably not just feeling this moon. You're being moved by it. Let's start with Libra. Libra is the sign of balance, harmony, connection. But during this moon, the universe isn't rewarding fake peace. It's destroying it. If you've been keeping the peace at the cost of your truth, if you've been performing balance while silently breaking, this moon sees you, and it's pushing you to choose yourself. People-pleasing won't protect you anymore. The mask is cracking, and what's underneath is what the world needs, your real voice. Now let's talk Taurus. While Libra is being shaken emotionally, Taurus is feeling it in the body. You might feel overstimulated. Textures, smells, sounds, everything feels louder, sharper, too much. You may feel ungrounded in places you once felt safe. You're being recalibrated. Why? Because Taurus rules value. And this moon, paired with Venus turning direct, is demanding that you redefine what you're worth, not based on what others give you, not based on what you've settled for, but based on what your soul knows you deserve. So if you're Libra or Taurus, this isn't just another full moon. This is a personal wake-up call, one that doesn't knock, it kicks the door open. Awakening unexpectedly. You're not crazy. Here's the part no one really talks about. Sometimes awakening doesn't happen gently. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It just cracks something open. And lately, it's been happening to people who never saw it coming, people who rolled their eyes at anything spiritual, people who never lit incense, never journaled, never believed in energy or intuition, and yet now, here they are, feeling pulled to be alone more. drawn to nature, noticing synchronicities, getting emotional for no clear reason. They're not going crazy, they're waking up. The portal doesn't care if you've got a crystal collection or a yoga practice. It doesn't check your spiritual resume, it checks your readiness. And readiness doesn't mean perfection, it means willingness. Willingness to question what you thought was true, willingness to sit with silence, willingness to feel the discomfort you used to numb. If you've been feeling a little off lately, like you don't quite recognize yourself, like old goals don't excite you anymore, like something invisible is tugging at your chest, you're not alone. And no, this isn't just a phase. This is your system responding to something greater, something ancient, something calling you home to yourself. You don't need to know all the terms. You don't need to meditate for 90 minutes a day. You just need to listen. Because when the portal opens, it doesn't ask, "Do you believe?" It asks, "Are you willing? Willing to grow, willing to change, willing to let go of the version of you that was built for survival, not truth?" So if you've been questioning things you never used to question, if silence suddenly feels louder than noise, if you've been crying in your car for no reason at all, welcome. You're not broken. You're being rebuilt. This moon demands action, not wishes. You've heard it 100 times. Write down your dreams, visualize what you want, set intentions under the full moon. And most of the time that's beautiful advice, but not this time. This moon isn't here for wishful thinking. It's not subtle, it's not passive. This moon demands action, real, raw, uncomfortable action. Because right now, you're not attracting what you want. You're attracting what you believe you're allowed to have. Read that again. If you believe you're only worthy of love when you prove your value, you'll attract people who make you work for it. If you believe you can only have abundance through struggle, you'll keep choosing hard paths. This moon holds up a mirror. And not the flattering kind. It shows you exactly what parts of you are still negotiating with your worth. It asks, what are you still holding on to that's already expired? What version of you are you still performing to keep others comfortable? Where are you playing small? Because it feels safer than being seen? This isn't about scripting your dream life on pretty paper. This is about cutting ties, setting boundaries, speaking truth, even if your voice shakes, because this moon doesn't respond to fantasies. It responds to energetic declarations. It doesn't want you to ask for what you want. It wants you to claim it, like it's already yours. That means walking away from what you've outgrown, even if it still looks good on the outside. That means acting like the version of you who already knows they deserve more and refusing to settle for anything less. So don't just light a candle and write a list. Do the thing, say the thing, be the thing. Closing. Leap in the fog. You won't get a map this time. No clear path. No guaranteed outcome. Just a nudge, a whisper, a feeling in your gut that says, go anyway. The portal doesn't open when you're fully ready. It opens the moment you decide to move, even if your hands are shaking, even if the ground feels unstable. Clarity is a reward for the brave, not a prerequisite. And the truth is, the version of you that's ready only shows up after the leap. So if it feels foggy right now, if you're standing at the edge of something unknown, don't wait for the fear to leave. Jump anyway. That's how you meet the future that's been waiting for you.